Hey, who's our guest on the Energy Nerd Show today?
Today we have Sue AnderBois.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks for
Sue.
having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Sue is a city councilor in Providence, Rhode Island, and currently running for lieutenant governor.
Yep.
That is a big
Must be
deal.
busy.
Yeah, a little busy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Trying to get out there, do the things.
Oh
Yeah,
my
meet
gosh!
people.
Thanks for doing what you're doing.
Oh no, thank you guys.
And what's interesting you these days? Like, what do you find problematic, or something
What are
you
you
want to
working
work
on?
on?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I am working on is kind of recreationally is trying to figure out some of the stuff that's going on in our governor's budget around energy. That's something that I'm really focused on. But on council, I've been really working on a whole bunch of stuff related to energy and climate. We just made a commitment to all of our buildings being carbon neutral by 2040.
Awesome.
We've passed building energy reporting. I've just been trying to do as many energy related things as I can while I have that seat. Yeah.
In the city of Providence.
In the city of Providence. Yeah.
And then hopefully Rhode Island.
And then
next.
hopefully Rhode Island next. Yeah. And I've been talking a lot with folks. I mean, as you guys can imagine, energy prices come up a lot. And so I've been talking with folks about what's actually driving energy cost increases across the state and the opportunity to really take that on and both invest in clean energy while also stabilizing our rates. That's something that's on top of my mind all the time. But also across Rhode Island, that's one of the top things that comes up when I talk to people. Yeah.
Is affordability.
And how are we actually going to do this? What are real solutions? Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's definitely talk.
What is driving energy prices and what are the
And what
solutions?
can we do? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. I'm so excited.
That's a big question.
That's a big question, you guys. I mean, some of the things we could do. Well, first, some of the things driving our energy prices, and I should say I'm also on our state's Energy Efficiency Council.
Okay.
And right now, there are proposed some cuts to the energy efficiency programs. Our state's been proposing cuts to the clean energy programs. And what many of us are trying to say, myself included, is, hey, let's look at what's actually driving these cost increases. And by and large, it's increases in the distribution charge. It's increases in the transmission charge. It's utility overspending. It's our over-reliance on gas and the very volatile pricing of gas. It's really not the energy efficiency programs, and it's really not our very small investments still in renewable energy.
Right.
And so really taking a hard look at some of what is driving those. And in Rhode Island, we have a really great opportunity right now. We have the first full rate case that we've had in years since Rhode Island Energy, or PPL, bought our utility from National Grid a couple of years back. So everyone's really distracted by all this state policy that's happening. And I'm focus on the PUC.
That's where the money.
That's where the money is. Yeah.
Hey. Well, let me ask you this. In Rhode Island, are energy efficiency investments only made when the expected financial benefit is higher than the cost?
Yeah. So in Rhode Island, our energy efficiency programs are guided by our least cost procurement statute, which is from 2006. It's in its 20th year. And that was before anyone really was caring about climate change, to be honest. And so the whole goal was increased energy efficiency, lower costs for homes and businesses. It was all about how do we have as much energy efficiency that's less than the cost of supply. So it's all required to be cost efficient as well as energy efficient. And it's very tightly scrutinized. So that's one of the things we've been saying on the council. And this was one of the first years we actually rejected the proposal from the utility, who's our program administrator, their proposal they put out because they were making some drastic cuts. And we were the Energy Efficiency Council almost never rejects the proposals. But we were no, this isn't good enough. We need to do more. Energy efficiency undergirds affordability and then all of our renewable energy and climate goals. We have to invest.
Okay. So this governor trying to cut that budget.
Yeah.
Is there a logic behind that?
The logic he's saying, so in his proposed budget, he's trying to cap the programs at $75 million a year. So not a new way to look at the cost benefit ratio, just saying this is where we max out. And I think his logic that he has said publicly is he wants to make sure we aren't having too many charges on the bills so that folks' rates go down. And I personally feel like this is really short-sighted. And the analogy I was using, and Bruce and I were chatting about this earlier, is I spent a lot of my career in nonprofits. A lot of us have development folks on staff, if you cut their salaries or you just remove them, it looks like a line item savings. It's like, I just saved $100,000 by firing my development person. But that person might bring in $5 million a year. Yeah. So you're saving, but you're losing. And the energy efficiency.
Pound foolish.
Yes, yeah. And like the delta between like what we've spent and what we've saved through the programs is huge for the last 20 years. We have these like great graphs in our annual reports that show like how much energy we haven't even had to produce. And it's just not the right time to be cutting these programs.
No, and people don't necessarily care as much if their electricity is 22.2 cents a kilowatt hour. What they care is that their overall bill is $100 or $90 or, less
totally.
And so is that message out there? Or
that's what many of the advocates and then myself as well are trying to share of like, the absolute rate doesn't matter. It's what you're paying and then also what you're experiencing in your home. So and your business. So if you start cutting these programs and people have leaky homes or they're not investing in energy efficient appliances, like their overall bills are going to go way up. Mm-hmm. So you might see like a slightly lower rate because it's like a penny per kilowatt hour per month, on your bill. But like you're going to be paying more when you have a fridge that uses more energy than it used to, or you didn't insulate and you're spending more for fossil gas. So that's the message we're trying to get out there. Energy efficiency is the sexiest of all energy policy, but it still is a little wonky for some folks. But trying to get that out there because that's just so short-sighted. Yeah.
Yeah, energy bills would be a lot higher now without those efficiency investments over the last 10 and 20 years.
Yeah. And we're also trying to, on the Energy Efficiency Council, talk more about shaving peaks, because it's not just about overall investments, but like when are you shaving it? And can we have more of those types of programs as part of the program? We have just very few things designed to shave peaks in Rhode Island. And that's where a lot of it is, especially now that we're seeing for the first time in like decades, you guys know this better than I do, but first time in decades, we're seeing like energy use across the grid go up because of data centers and AI and all the things. And so it's like this is definitely the time we need to be doubling down on energy efficiency and clean energy.
Mm-hmm. So the peak shaving is part of the energy efficiency program.
Yeah, and it could be a much more robust piece of that. Yeah.
I feel like we were talking mostly about electricity.
Yeah.
Is gas. What about gas?
Yeah. Gas is also huge. And Rhode Island, we're at the end of the pipeline, and we are both heavily reliant on gas for our heating and cooling as well as our electricity. So it's a big part of both. And one of the things that I'm pushing back against in some of the proposed cuts is they're looking to push back. We have a renewable energy standard that has us at 100% by 2033. Mm-hmm. It was hard fought. Many of us like blood, sweat, and tears to get that. The state overall.
Cool.
And they want to push it back. And we're saying, this is not the time to disinvest in clean energy, because what we're going to do is for electricity, we're going to become even more reliant on gas, which we're already reliant on for heating and cooling, and we're trying to electrify. And instead of investing funds in clean energy, which will help stabilize rates, we're going to have to invest in new pipelines, which are expensive. We'd have to invest in new gas infrastructure. Like, it's just wild. Like, these things are very expensive. And so if we care about affordability, we're just going to be doubling down on like the most expensive, most volatile fuel.
There's a lot of investment, and the fuel costs are going up.
And the fuel costs are going up.
Right.
And I mean, nobody talks about climate change anymore, but climate change
there's that.
is real. It's happening. Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned clean energy renewables a couple of times. Around the country, we're hearing a lot about barriers, siting, and all that. Is that what's going on in Rhode Island?
Yeah, so there have been barriers. Actually, when I was with the Nature Conservancy, which I recently left, but I was the Northeast Director of Climate and Energy for a number of years, and then I was our Rhode Island Director of Climate and Energy for a while. And we actually worked on some really great siting legislation in Rhode Island, because what we were seeing was two things. Either the largest stuff was being built in the forests and the most important forest land, because that's the cheapest place to build, or towns were putting up moratoriums on building because they didn't want the forest to be gone. So both options were bad. Mm-hmm. And so the Nature Conservancy, the Audubon Society, we actually partnered with the IBEW, Local 99, the AFL-CIO, and one of the biggest developers of solar in Rhode Island, who was developing in the forest, say, hey, it's bad for both of us right now. We agree that we want more clean energy, and I think we just need to make sure it's being sited in the right places. So we worked together with Rep. Speakman and Senator DeMario and passed legislation in 2023 that expanded all of our clean energy programs and said you couldn't use them in some particular forest land. So it was like some of our most important contiguous forests. So we were really expanding it, getting some of the pricing right for the urban areas, for the rooftops, for things like that, while saying like, but not this most important forest land that's really important for ecosystems, because we wanted to make sure it was still getting built, but open space is also really important for climate and also really important for many of the reasons open space is important. And I think having more partnerships like that kind of across our region, across the country, of like folks being able to sit at the table. And it took a while. It took 2 years of negotiation to like have the unions and the environmentalists and the developers all hold hands. And then we sat at the table together at the legislature saying, look, we all agree this is the best solution. Like, you're not going to come up with something better than like what these all groups, like if we could all hold hands, you got to pass this. And it was a labor of love, but we got through.
It seems like something other states could learn from.
Yes, please.
Yes, that would be great. So how is the pace of solar going, like the growth?
Yeah. It was really going for really picking up steam. And I'm worried that we're sending a signal now with this budget. I hate to keep harping on this budget, but it's like very present for folks right now because it's in negotiation. I'm worried that with the cuts it's trying to make to net metering, the cuts it's trying to make to the renewable energy standard, and the cuts to energy efficiency, that businesses are getting the signal like, don't invest here. And originally, there was also a proposal that the changes to net metering and the rates you would get would be retroactive. So even projects that were already operational would suddenly have their rates cut. And like, that just sends like such a signal to all types of businesses. Like, we're going to change the rules midway through. Like, don't invest here. So we are picking up steam. And I just want to make sure we like keep our foot on the accelerator, and not like create these hiccups. Because like also, you guys know this, we're getting punched in the face by the Trump administration.
Oh my
like
gosh,
they're going after our wind, everything.
What is the status of wind in Rhode Island right now?
Yeah, so the Revolution Wind just came online.
Okay.
We're very excited about that.
Congrats, that's awesome.
And I'm hopeful that we can like be laying the groundwork now for the other projects that were in the pipeline, because we were going to see, and we were seeing development at the Port of Providence, development in Quonset, like of offshore wind. So moving away from some of the dirty stuff we've had in those port neighborhoods and have some of this clean energy development. So I hope that like with this, Rhode Island punches above our weight.
Yeah.
So all the offshore wind is like off the coast of Rhode Island for the whole country. But we're very proud of that. I hope that we can keep our foot on the accelerator, because I know Trump is really trying to just like slash it as much as he can. And it's the future. And maybe we have to wait a couple years, but it'll come back and it'll be where we're headed.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there are lots of opportunities to make to have some impact, and we got a budget, a state budget. We got a rate case, and an election.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And
I'm really excited because a lot of folks have asked, like, and I don't want to be political, but people have asked, like, why would you run for lieutenant governor with all this stuff going on? And the thing that I'm really excited about is the lieutenant governor's office is independent of the governor, and they're independent of the legislature. We can choose to elect people who are going to see that opportunity and say, hey, we've got some hard challenges, some thorny things, some things that need like lots of collaboration and coordination, like what we're going to do on energy. And really bring people together to say, what's our plan? Like the state of Rhode Island hasn't had an energy plan since 2015. It was really good. It was a really good plan, but it was from 11 years ago, and we never really implemented it. Shout out to Danny Musher, who wrote our energy plan under Commissioner Gold back in 2015. They did a great job. But it's been 11 years. Things have changed. And right now our energy plan is basically whatever the utility says. And so we need someone like me who can bring people together and say, where are we headed? Like, how are we actually going to solve these problems? Because it's complicated, but we do know a lot of what we need to do. And so we need folks who will be able to like bring folks to the table, like the work I did with the labor guys and the other environmentalists, say, how do we actually, how do we hold hands and do this together and be smart about it and not just like kind of arbitrary?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to bring the energy nerds into the State House.
I love it.
More energy nerds
In public office.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
No, thanks for having me. This is so fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And good luck.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.